Hi, everyone. I just wanted to make sure, can everybody hear and see the presentation? Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so my name's Ashley. I know I've spoken with a few of you, so I'm so glad that you could attend today. I'm just going to briefly go over the agenda of what we're going to cover. So like I said, welcome. I'm so glad that you're attending. And then what I'm going to be covering is the pre-arrival tasks and getting ready for your rotation. So we'll have some helpful tips and information for you on that. And then I'm going to hand it over to Jordan, who some of you may have been working with as your coach. He's going to cover some information on rotation success tips, post-rotation steps that you should follow. And then at the end, we will do a Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, please go ahead and type them over into the questions box. And then at the end, we will have some time to go over those. So feel free to type things in as they pop in your head. So for the pre-arrival tasks, you do want to make sure that your cell phone has an international data plan. This is going to be crucial because you do need to be able to communicate with your physician in case of an emergency, if you're running late, or if you need to miss a day. You need to make sure that you can get in contact with them. So how you can do that to get the international plan, once you arrive at the airport here in the United States, you can either purchase an international SIM card for your cell phone, or you can check with your cell phone provider in your country to see if your international data is set up so that you won't have any issues once you arrive here. The other thing you want to make sure is to check the weather of your location that you're going to be before you arrive here. So you're going to want to know, like here in Chicago, it's been very cold and snowy, so you would want to bring a winter jacket, scarf, hat, boots, things like that. Whereas if you're going to be in Florida or California, you might want to pack some lighter clothes that, for the warmer weather. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to your coach. We can always give you some tips on what type of clothing items that you should bring with you. And then the other thing is that you want to make sure to bring physical copies of your important documents. So this could be your health insurance plan that you would want to keep with you, your travel plans like your flight itinerary or your Airbnb address. And then you would also want to have some hard copies of the documents that you had submitted to AMO. So this could be your immunization records, copies of your visa, anything like that, just so you could have something on you in case your physician asks to see it on the first day. The other thing you want to do is to plan your transportation from how you're getting from the airport once you arrive to where you'll be staying. So you'll want to bear in mind what type of a city that you're staying in. Are you in a big metropolitan city, or are you in a smaller, more rural area? Because this can impact how you would want to get from the airport. So some cities have public transportation that make it very easy. Other ones you might need to use Uber or Lyft, a ride-hailing like taxi service. So you want to have a plan ahead of time, bearing in mind what time that you're arriving at the airport. And again, if you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to us and we can provide some more information for the specific city that you'll be attending. So getting ready for your first day. When you arrive to your rotation, you'll want to make sure that you have your reporting address for where you'll be going. This you should receive in your enrollment email, but if you have any questions, let your coach know. We can always forward you the address again. And then your reporting time. You want to make sure to take a look at that because you don't want to be late on your first day. You want to make a great first impression, so you do want to be early and show up on time. Again, that should also be in your enrollment email, but if you have any questions about where to go and what time to be there, just let us know and we'd be happy to help you out. So when you do arrive, you'll want to go to the front desk and tell them your name and that you're there to do your clinical rotation, and then they will be able to put you into contact with the physician that you'll be rotating with. So just make sure that you let them know your name and what you're there for. The other thing is you want to also figure out the transportation for how you'll be getting from your accommodations to your rotation. So you might want to look at this ahead of time to make sure that you plan enough time to get there early. So you can use things like Google Maps and plan it out if you're going to be using transportation, or you might want to see how long of a drive it is if you're either renting a car or using Uber or Lyft. So take a look at that ahead of time. And then what you want to bring for your first day, you'll want to bring a notepad with writing utensils to take notes, write down any questions that you might have for your physician. You want to bring your stethoscope with you, and then a white coat if you have it. And then another question that we get a lot of times is what you should wear. So it is a business casual attire. So for men, that could look like a collared shirt, like a polo or a button down, dress pants, dress slacks, chinos, khakis, closed-toed shoes, something that's nice but also comfortable as you'll be doing a lot of walking. For women, this might look like a nice top, a blouse, or a sweater, dress pants or dress slacks, an appropriate dress or a skirt, and then also closed-toed shoes that will be nice but also be comfortable. If you have any other questions about what to wear, or if you'd like any recommendations, we can definitely help you out with that as well. So setting the expectations before your rotation starts. You do want to make sure that you have an understanding of your rotation type. Some of you may be participating in a hands-on rotation, and others may be participating in an observership. So the main difference there is that for the observership, you will not have the direct patient interaction. You will still get a very high quality rotation, and you'll be able to have the one-on-one contact with your physician. You just won't be able to allow to interact directly with the patients. So that is the main difference there. If you have any questions, if your physician asks you to do something that you're not sure if it's allowed in the type of rotation that you're on, reach out to AMO, give us a call or email, and we'd be happy to answer your questions to see if that is something that you're allowed to do. The other thing is the inpatient versus outpatient exposure here. So it is very expensive to operate in a hospital for inpatient settings. So because of that, a lot of the healthcare here does happen in an outpatient setting. So if you are in an inpatient outpatient rotation, a lot of that will depend on the patient load. So depending on how many patients that the physician has at the hospital, that may or may not impact how often you will be in the inpatient setting. And you will also get a great understanding of how the United States healthcare system works. This may be very different from how it works in your country, so it's a great learning experience. And don't be afraid to ask your physician any questions if they come up about how things are maybe handled differently here in the United States. You just want to be prepared to experience a new culture with an open outlook. So you want to keep an open mind, and so that you can get the best out of your experience here. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Jordan to follow our next steps here.
Hello, everyone. Okay. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what to do during your rotation. So as you get started, definitely communicate with your coach, whether that's me or Ashley. We want to hear from you. If everything's going great, we want to know that. If you're having questions or concerns, we want to know that too. And then please reach out to us sooner rather than later, especially if you're having an issue. You were in this rotation for 4 weeks, and that can go really fast or really slow if you're not having a good time. And if you're not having a good time, if something's not meeting your expectations, we want to be able to resolve that. So please reach out as soon as it happens and not later. That way we have time to fix it to make sure you're having the best experience. Make sure you also communicate with your physician. A lot of the times when you do reach out to us about a question, a comment, or concern, we'll say, hey, have you asked your physician about that? The physicians that we onboard through AMO know that you're here to learn and expect you to ask questions, expect you to understand everything and want clarification. So please don't be afraid to ask those questions to them as well. Also communicate to your physician if you're going to be running late, maybe if you're sick and you can't make it in that day. Make sure you're not just not showing it. Actually send your physician a text message, give them a call, an email, and let them know that, hey, I'm not going to be in that day. No matter what's going on, just make sure you're always communicating with the physician. Make sure you're also being professional in all aspects of your interaction. So with speech, make sure you're not using any curse words or slang. Make sure you're referring to everyone where there are appropriate titles, whether that's doctor, nurse, etc. Actually cover business casual. In addition to the business casual dress, make sure that your clothes are always clean, free of stains, on all those sorts of things. They should be neatly pressed or ironed. And then make sure that you're also free of any perfumes or colognes or anything like that. Those scents can be very distracting in the patient setting, and a lot of patients have allergies. So make sure that you are doing those, not wearing those as well. Hygiene, make sure you're showering each night, wearing antiperspirant deodorant, and again, the strong clones and perfumes. And then timeliness and behavior, this is the most important part, making sure that you're always on time and that you are adhering to all behavioral standards of your rotation. When you're interacting with folks, make sure that you're being respectful and polite to everyone, not just doctors, nurses, administrative staff, custodial staff who are doing the cleaning. Every single person is part of your rotation that makes your rotation work. And being professional and being respectful is the number one way to make sure you're getting your letter of recommendation. Okay. Speaking of letter of recommendation, I know many, if not all of you, are doing this rotation to an LOR. So for anyone who doesn't understand, the LOR is needed to apply to the U.S. residency match. So this is a great way to earn one of those letters of recommendations. All of our physicians know that you want an LOR. We tell them that when they onboard them. We make sure that they are willing to write one before we allow them to pre-set students. So they're all willing. That being said, letters of recommendation are based on merit and they're based on your behavior during rotation. So we cannot say with 100% certainty you are going to get an LR, but 99.9% of our students do get one when they ask, but it all depends on you. Make sure you're showing up every day, ready to learn, asking questions, being engaged, and showing your position the qualities that you eventually want them to write in on a recommendation. So that's being on time, participating, asking for feedback, getting feedback, and really showing your knowledge and showing what you've learned and showing that you're still here to learn more. After your rotation, make sure that you thank your physician and anyone else who helped to make your experience. You definitely want to leave on a positive note and show your gratitude and thankfulness for that. Complete your AMO evaluation. During the 4th week of your evaluation, you'll get an email from AMO asking you to evaluate your experience at your rotation, your experience working with us. So please go ahead and fill that out. If you want to get your certificate of completion at the end of your rotation, you'll have to complete the evaluation first. And then tell all your friends about AMO. We want to help as many students as possible get you with clinical experience. And for every person you refer to us, you get a discount on future rotations. So it's a great way to save some money if you plan on coming back to rotate with us. And lastly, I want to talk about our photo and blog contest. So each month we host this for our visitors who are rotating. So during your rotation, take pictures with your physician, to make sure you're not violating any patient privacy rights, but take pictures at your clinic with your physician, things that you're doing on the weekend, things that you're enjoying about the city that you're in. And you can submit those pictures to us along with a blog post, about 500 to 1,000 words, just about your experience in your rotation, what you've been doing, what you've been learning. You can send that to success@amopportunities.org by April 15th, and then one person will win a Kaplan Q-Bake test prep. This is a study guide for the USMLE. They have it for all the different steps of the USMLE, so no matter what step you are, we'll be able to get you a nice study guide for that. Okay. So I see some questions here, so Ashley and I will go ahead and come back and answer that. So does anyone have any questions?
One thing that we can mention as well is for anyone that's coming to the United States and getting a vaccination here, whether it be a flu shot or a meningitis booster, make sure that you do email the proof of that to your coach. So if you do get it over the weekend, make sure you're emailing that over to us because you will not be able to start your rotation until we receive it. In that case too, you do want to take a hard copy of the proof to your first day so that you can show that to your physician as well. So if you have any specific questions about that, feel free to reach out to us. But just remember to send that over as well as take a hard copy to your first day.
So someone asked, how should I contact my physician in case I'm missing a day? Email, phone number. When you get to your rotation on the first day, your physician will let you know what the best way to contact them is. Some physicians give you their cell phone and say, hey, send me a text. Some want you to call, some want you to email. So when you get to your rotation site, make sure that you can ask your physician what is the best way to contact you and then go forward from there. Someone asked, when is the best time to ask for a letter of recommendation from the physician? Should we wait until the last day of rotation? You should definitely start a little bit earlier than that. We recommend really starting to ask around week 2. And the reason why is, so say you want your LOR to say something specific and your physician hasn't seen that yet. Say you want them to talk about, your experience and being able to understand diagnosis, or being able to talk about patient symptoms, and your physician may be like, hey, I haven't seen that yet. I want to see more of that from you. That gives you time to perform during your rotation to actually get those skills in before you were strong learner. It also gives them time to write it so you can have it before you actually leave your rotation. So definitely asking probably in week 2, week 3. There's another question about when should you ask for the LOR. So around week 2, we typically recommend start talking about it.
And then we did want to just go over again with the hands-on versus observership. So if you have any questions about that, definitely let us know if anything comes up. But for the observership, you will not have that direct patient interaction. Whereas if you are in a hands-on rotation, you will be. You may be taking patient histories, taking vitals, things like that. But if there is any question about whether it's a task that you should be participating in or not, feel free to mention to your physician, hey, let me call AMO. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that on the type of rotation. So don't be afraid of that. It's better to ask.
So someone asked, do physicians want drafts of the LOR? Again, that's really physician dependent. We've had physicians say, hey, go ahead and write something up, send it to me. I'll review it, make edits, and then send it back. Some physicians really just have their own templates that they use and write it from scratch. So it'll really depend on the physician. So make sure that you're reaching out early and figuring out what those requirements are and what those nuances are. That way you can get best level.
These are all great questions. Does anybody else have anything?
So someone asked, will we have a first day overview of the different tasks we're going to attend, or is it just a straight start? Definitely depending on your physician, but I would say most physicians are going to give you some sort of orientation or a first day. This is how some physicians going to work. It really is going to depend on, one, what specialty they're in, how busy they are, how many patients they have, how long or extensive your orientation will be. But you will definitely get some sort of at least a brief overview when you get started on the first day.
And that's a great time as well to mention if there's anything specific that you're interested in learning. Make sure you let your preceptor know that so that they can make sure that you get the exposure that you're wanting.
All right, any more questions? So it looks like the questions are dying down, but if you have any questions between now and your rotation starting, please reach out to your coach. We are here to help you and here to help you succeed and do the best that you can. We're available by email or you can call our office, so feel free to reach out. Best of luck for you. We'll be traveling soon and we can't wait to hear all about your rotations.
Have a great day.